What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast. We're talking about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? And Chris Abacon.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Chris? So, welcome to this week's the weekly rundown. So, Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday is a discussion, so I thought that was a really good one as well. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. That's with Rebecca Skeet from Black Girls Hack. She's COO over there. Really good conversation. And then Fridays, just like this episode, everything else, right? So we talk about movies, books, games, all that good stuff. Check out all of the articles we write per episode, and then on Fridays we roll it all up into what I call the weekly rundown, which is the newsletter, which encompasses all of the articles in summary, as well as any other content we've generated, and then a little slice of life, right? So this past one I talked about Father's Day and some video gaming I was doing with the my oldest son, right? So Junior, and just trying to live the nostalgia of Street Fighter, get my butt kicked. But without further ado, how was everybody's week?
Mine was good, man. I took a little vacation back home. Just going to see family. Was with my father and my grandfather on Father's Day. So we hung out a little bit. Yeah, went back home to Maryland. So got to crack open some crabs. You know what I mean? That was one of the things I missed the most, to be honest with you. Having my hands smell like seafood for a few days. You know what I mean? It was awesome. I loved it. You know what I mean? You can't get it out of there, but. Went home to visit. Like I said, spent some time with family. Took the children out to the National Aquarium. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, to the one in Baltimore, but it's wonderful. It's phenomenal, man. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, but it's
right.
Good
I was going to say, is that the one I see in the movies where it's like around you, like you walk through like the?
Oh, like they have this thing where they have different things, but they have this thing where you kind of like spiral down, where like you see different animals and things like that. It's several parts to it, but it's a good aquarium. I mean, I grew up in Maryland, so I'd been to it before, but my children had never been, right? And actually my wife had never been. I thought at some point. Because I want to say they took us there on a field trip one time, to in school, to see the aquarium and whatnot. But my wife was like, "I'd never been," so I was like, "Oh, we gonna make that happen."
Gotta go.
My youngest
Baltimore area.
Yeah,
like,
it's in the harbor.
Old Bay is huge, right? Old Bay. Does your hand smell like Old Bay seasoning?
Yeah. It is one of the best seasonings out there. You can put it in anything. I put it in oodles of noodles. Like that's how I spice them up. You know what I mean? Like it's one of the best things out there, man. But no, it was a fun time. Took them to do that, visit family. But not to be on a very somber note, but for those that are not aware, so like I've had my mother and one of my brothers pass this year, and so I never went to the cemetery to see where my mother was buried. So I went and saw that. That was, I need to, put some work in and making sure that's better taken care of. I didn't like the condition it was in, but yeah, went there to see that, and she's not too far. She's buried right next to her brother, one of her brothers, and not too far away from her mother. So that was good to see. That was my intention when we brought her back home, because she didn't pass away back home, but we brought her back home. But went and saw that. Like I said, visit family, take the children out to do all types of stuff, spend all types of money on them. They ain't gonna appreciate it next week type stuff. But
right.
But no, it was a fun time. Have watched a few things. So I did watch the Kevin Hart Mark Twain award presentation on Netflix. That was hilarious. That was funny. Yeah, Nick Cannon is a jerk.
Oh man, he got me too.
Yeah. Kevin said he got him. You know what I mean? So, that was great. What else did I watch? I'm watching this series now. Like I'm watching a lot of documentary type stuff. I'm watching this one now called License to Kill, and it's got Dr. Terry Dubrow. If you guys ever watched Botched, he's one of the doctors on Botched, and he produces the show where it shows these people that are in the medical profession that have gone about killing people. So I'm only a few episodes in, but like it's interesting stuff. And two of them I've known about already. One of them I'd never heard of. Like this lady that was just pretty much selling snake oil as a cancer remedy. You know what I mean? People were just dying left and right. But interesting thing to watch. The other one I watched was about the woman that faked her kidnapping in California. Her last name was Was it Panini, whatever it was. When I had read her story, I knew we'll get feedback from somebody. I don't know who that is, but when I had read her story, she had got arrested and went to jail for like 18 months, like a couple years ago. Her actual fake kidnapping happened back in 2016. I didn't realize that. Like, it was so far back. It took them years to get to the point where they figured out that she had faked this whole thing. But that was an interesting documentary.
Yeah, to waste resources on you. They could be finding somebody's murderer.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, she had to pay. Like, she pled guilty. I want to say she had to pay like $300,000 some odd dollars in restitution, right? And I think that's about what it was costing for them to do the looking after her and all that stuff. But that was an interesting watch. And then just little stuff here and there. Not much to write home about. Little TV shows I've already mentioned before that I've watched with the wife and whatnot. But no, it was a good time. Good week. I won't complain. It was a good time. Children enjoyed themselves. I enjoyed myself, being with family. Just going home to spend time with them was great. Not going home for a bad occasion was awesome. Right. So yeah, it was pretty good. But Chris, how was your week, man?
I mean, so for the past week, I've actually been unpacking because we moved to a new place last Saturday. So that's one of the reasons I've been in for a while. So we've been packing so much. When the official move finally happened, it was unpacking and figuring out where stuff goes, right? So I know it's not, my first rodeo moving, right? But for anybody that's been in the military, we moved a million times, right? And it's never fun, right? So there's still stuff in boxes, we're looking at mounting TVs, just haven't had the time to do that stuff just yet between that and work and all that stuff as well. But I think I did, prior to moving, I did pass my CCP exam. I don't think I've mentioned that in the podcast yet, but that was not yet. Yeah. So, but that was very good. I think the training from Edwards was outstanding, and I think it's definitely something that both of you guys can. I think you guys can pass it because it's just something that we're so used to, just ingrained in us as information security professionals, within the DoD. So it's just something that's I think it's a great course, and definitely recommend Edwards. On the media side of the house, I honestly haven't been watching a lot of any TV or anything. We do watch just on the background. We watch this British show called Death in Paradise. It's about. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh yeah, I think you told me about it.
Yeah. So, but we do watch that. It's one of my favorite shows. It's a British cop, right, or detective that's in a fake island in the Caribbean, British territorial island in the Caribbean. Yeah. It's actually a lot. It's really cool, right? So they've got cool music. It's like every time you watch it, it's like I want to go to St. Lucia or what is it, St. Bart's or something. Every time I watch that show, so it's one of those things where. Turks and Caicos or Bahamas, right? I want to go there. I want to go on vacation.
Chris, you're doing this stuff in real life, man. Like, back to a vacation that was beautiful, man. Like, you're living the life.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so that's probably on the docket maybe next year, but we'll see. We'll see some type of island vacation.
It's easier to live there than the vacation there. I'm just saying.
That's true.
That come to your house and crash.
Yeah. What else was I doing? But yeah, so on the media consumption, I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, right? And I follow a lot of the, the pop culture media, just like, hey, let's have this. But one thing that I've been watching, this one channel, well, basically, I won't name the specific channels, but essentially it's criticism of Star Wars, right? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but this latest Star Wars, they started retconning some more stuff, in the lore, and I wasn't really happy with that. So it's really crazy because there's more of a media now, at least on YouTube, of people that are complaining about Star Wars. They're actually watching Star Wars and reviewing them. Like if you type in the Acolyte, there's more people complaining about the Acolyte on YouTube than there is people talking about, theories.
Yeah, people hate it.
Yeah, like it just completely retconned, some things about Star Wars. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see as a longtime fan. But other than that, pretty light week, mostly unpacking, right? Figuring out I set up this computer like 4 days ago. So we're still in progress, but overall a great week. finally settling it.
That's good stuff. So I got to do the pandering. So please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit a bell. There's a bell involved. Check out all of our content. We release something every single day, every single work or weekday. Right? I don't do weekend stuff unless it's a clip I forgot to upload. Then you might see something on a Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, definitely check out all of our content. We are producing a lot of stuff, and your feedback will help us to make it better. And then we're trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the month. We're so close, danger close. So please share with your nerdy friends. Try to get us there, and then 1,000 by the end of the year. But for me, I playing a lot of Street Fighter. Terrible at it. Bought a little arcade stick from Amazon. Like little tiny things, about $60. Because it's either you buy the mini or you buy a $200 arcade stick. And I was like, I'm not gonna invest in something I might quit. So I was like, I'll get the mini, and then I can pull it out from time to time. So been playing with that, getting my butt kicked by my middle son because he's getting really good at it. And then no Final Fantasy. I need to jump back on it. I was just super busy playing around with some podcast stuff for just trying to level up the experience without necessarily leveling up my time. It's not working out. And then just hanging out with the family, right? So went out to eat last night, get some good seafood. Not as good as going to Maryland. Not that, but decent enough for the Tampa area. And that's about it. Like, I really haven't done much. Put something on the grill. I think I sent you guys some photos of me burning some steaks. And just trying to relax, but I do hope to unwind and play some games. Start doing a little bit of writing, so at some point I'm hoping to push out a guide. So stay tuned for that. Just trying to better utilize my time, right? Spend as much time with the family as possible, and then try to crank out some projects. Because I want to be like Chris one day. I want to retire to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Trying to get a body.
One day. Oh, yeah.
Then we got a summer vacation coming up. So we got a little trip coming up for my wife's birthday. So that's next month. So
question for you, Ryan, because I haven't heard you mention it recently. Tears of the Kingdom, man. You still playing it?
I need to jump back into it. I will jump back into it. Like, oh man, there's so many. Nintendo had their direct, so everybody had their showcase, right? Like Xbox did an amazing job. Can't wait for all those games to drop on Game Pass. But Nintendo, everybody's like, man, we want new hardware. So we know that they're stringing it out, but they got some bangers coming out. I'm just like, I gotta get through Tears of the Kingdom. It is an amazing game, and it's fun. It's so time consuming. That's the problem I have with it. Like Final Fantasy, I can pretty much 100% that one, and probably half the time it'll take me to just get through Tears of the Kingdom. It took me 2 years to get through Wind Waker. Or no, what was it? It's not Wind Waker. What was the last one?
You talking about Breath of the Wild?
Yes, Breath of the Wild took me about 2 years. It took me about 2 years to get through it. Just picking up, putting it down, picking up, putting it down. This one would probably be roughly the same. Like there might be a new Switch. It might look better by the time I finish it because it'll be.
You know what? I want to get on a tangent here. You said new hardware, and I saw a YouTube video that talked specifically about how hardware restrictions in the 90s and early 2000s, or specifically in the 90s during the PlayStation days, made games the way that they were, and honestly, that it made them really good. Right, like for anyone that's played like the original Resident Evils, right?
Oh yeah.
Every time you went to a new room, it did that little thing where the door would open.
Yeah, the door.
That was like, the door would open, but that was a hidden way for them to hide the loading screen, right? Yeah. It was like little things like that, and I just gotta link to you guys at some point. Okay, check out this video. How these restrictions. It's so cool, and because of the restrictions, developers have to be so creative making games, right? I remember playing those old Crash Bandicoot games. It was like one of the only PlayStation games where it didn't have that fog, right? And it was 3D. But like they figured out a way to do that because they've got really smart people working on those games. But it's really cool. It's so I'll definitely link it to you guys at some point.
Yeah, send it to me because I think it's Silent Hill. Silent Hill was so foggy to hide the pop in the distance, right? So it's like they use the motif to disguise the limitations. And they kind of do that now, but it's this, like you said, it's not as, or you didn't say it, but I think you alluded to, it's not as good because you'll see in Unreal. You do a lot of sneaking between pillars and things of that nature, right? Like, so if you play like Sinuous Sacrifice or whatever the Hellblade 2. If you play Hellblade 2, you'll be shimmying through rock features and things of that nature, and that's them hiding the loads. Same thing Final Fantasy. There's a few times where you sneak between two columns and you're like, oh, this is really a load screen. That's what they're hiding behind the other side of it. Think something else more creative, all right? Let me go underneath a fern or a bush or something. Let me climb something. Like, well, I always have to squeeze between two pillars. It's not normal. Like Gears of War with the chest high walls. Why do they build all their architecture with chest high walls? Like, why is this the perfect cover system everywhere we go? But
in the event of in the event of an alien invasion, that's what will happen. Everything will only be chest high. That's what will happen.
Chest high walls everywhere. But no, yeah. So I've got to get into some games. Like again, I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter 6. It is fun. It's so deep. It's just like, man, I'm never going to master this thing, but it is fun to play around with. And there was something else. There's one called Deep Well. I downloaded. I need to play through that as well. It's a kind of a puzzle game that everybody's raving about. So I got a little bit of FOMO. I want to get through it. It was on PSN, so it's free to me, right? I already paid for the subscription. And Sinuous Sacrifice, Hellblade 2, I'm at the very end. I had to put it down because I got busy doing something, but I'm like literally I'm like 30 minutes from the conclusion of it. It's a very short game. Very, like, still the most gorgeous game ever. But you're not doing anything in it. You're just walking around. You swing a sword from time to time. So I'm just like, this is just a tech demo. Like, I want it to look like this, but play like God of War. Like, when is that going to happen? Probably not to the PS6.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just there's limitations there, right? So we'll see what the future holds on that one. But yeah, that's pretty much my week. Again, I'm hoping to get in some more game time, and then continue to watch The Boys. That series is amazing. It's on its 4th season. They said season 5 is it. It's a wrap. There's some spinoffs coming out though, so that the brand will still be alive. But the main series will end next season. So, which I think is for the best because they can't keep outdoing themselves. Like, this season is only on episode 4. I want to say episode 2. They had a scene. I was just like, how is this even on TV? This is the nastiest thing I've seen ever on television. So we will see how the rest of the season holds out. Hopefully it'll continue to be good. But it's getting to its conclusion. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. Again, Monday, Tuesday are topics. Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. This week will be Rebecca Skeet. She's COO over at Black Girls Hack. Really good interview. And then Fridays, everything else, movies plus games, just like this. All of it goes out as articles throughout the week. And then on Friday, it goes out as the weekly rundown, and it ties everything together and has some really cool slice of life stuff in there as well. So definitely subscribe to that and just continue to consume the content. Please let us leave some feedback. Again, we're like top 10% of all podcasts out right now, which is crazy to me, but our listener score is very low because we don't have a lot of feedback. So leave some stars. Obviously, I like the maximum stars as possible, but I'll take whatever you got and some good feedback so we can continue to get better. Hit up all the websites that go by our names, either the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RYRY Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on pretty much all the platforms. And where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Abaddon. Last name is spelled A-Bacon.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.